people that know they want audio, but they're not sure exactly what they want in terms of audio, or what they want from a company to provide, whether it's in-house, whether it's outsourced, whether it doesn't really matter. So I think one of the first steps is having great team management, and we need to start off by having a professional mindset about audio. A lot of the work that we've done in the past has been where a developer hasn't paid much attention to audio whatsoever. They've completely forgotten about it. They've got great AI, they've got great physics, they've got wonderful graphics, the thing plays really, really well. But they've completely disregarded audio because it isn't in people's minds. Then we get the call to do a phenomenal amount of work and patch up their audio problem in a very small amount of time before they hit beta. And that to me is a ridiculous way to work. If you have a publisher who's pouring a lot of money into your title, or you're independent, they're funding it, it doesn't matter how, you want every aspect of it to be, you know, as good as the rest. And audio seems to be that thing that's left behind a lot of the time. But to me, audio is just as integral as art, programming, design, etc. It's a very integral part of the team, but it really gets left behind. So I think strong communication, team direction, creative ideas, and willingness to accept other ideas is something that's really important that developers need to kind of latch onto. We're going to expand on those thoughts throughout this talk. I feel the best way to kind of explain to people what good game audio is and what bad game audio is isn't to sit up here and talk about it, but it's more to show examples and point people in the right direction. So we all get an understanding of what good game audio sounds like and what bad game audio sounds like. I mean, we're not asking developers to become audio experts. I mean, you know, that would put me out of a job. Instead, we're asking people to treat audio the same way they treat art, the same way they treat programming, the same way they treat design. So we're going to start out by looking at dialogue in a game. So what makes great game dialogue? Great characters is a fantastic start. If you don't have great characters, it's very hard to set the dialogue, the voice acting, to patch those characters up. You know, you can't polish a piece of crap, basically, right? So I think hiring a writer nowadays is a very, very important thing. Having a writer is really integral to getting a great story and great characters within that story that can set the immersion with the players. I think great talent, hiring voice actors, is a very, very important thing. There's a little quote up in the corner there from a real Australian developer. And we're looking at, I don't think they were trying to save money, they were just wanting to use the blokes in the office because they thought they were funny. And that to me is a really stupid attitude to take towards voice acting. Great production, hire a studio or get a professional audio human being. I think that's really, really integral as well. Because you can have great actors, great characters, but if their lines are recorded with distortion, clipping, and all that other rubbish that goes along with it, it breaks that immersion. It sounds like crap. It pulls people out of the game. So being professional with the production of the sound is very, very important as well. And great localization. I'm going to show a bunch of examples soon, and you're going to see what I mean by localization. But basically, as we all know, localization is taking the game that you've written in English or another language, and then translating that into another language. So an English-made game for a Japanese audience or vice versa. And there have been some times in the past where dialogue has really suffered from lack of localization understanding. And I'm going to show some examples as to what that's all about. So bad dialogue. To understand what good dialogue sounds like, we need to find out what bad dialogue sounds like. And I've got a whole stack of examples here that I'm going to kind of blitz through for some different games. So this first game, Martian Gothic Unification from 2001, I've basically taken some voice samples out of these games and collected them from different websites and things. And they're wonderful examples of how crappy dialogue can be in a game. So I'm going to play you a couple here. Is it fair?
Another body. Something tells me I'll be seeing a lot of these.
So this guy has no emotion in his voice whatsoever. He's obviously finding a dead body. He's got no emotion. To me, he sounds like a guy, the janitor, or the guy from the designer or something such like that. And they've asked him to come up here and do the voiceovers and stuff, and that's terrible. I mean, there's a couple more.
Man, this creature's fast. It dodges every bolt.
There's no charisma in that dude whatsoever, you know? This one I absolutely love. I don't know if this is bad writing or bad translation, bad localization, but it's fantastic.
For the sort of people who like that sort of thing, that's the sort of thing they like.
Who the hell wrote that line, man? Come on. So anyway, we've got some more from Rumble Roses. Now see if we can spot one of the Australian actors in this first one.
Who do I look like? One jacked up nurse? Close enough. Would you like me to make you stronger?
You don't sound like you're all there. I don't think so.
Don't worry.
Beat it. I don't want some crazy-ass nurse touching me.
I mean, that sounds like we've gone to the local strip club, picked up some of the locals there and brought them back, to voiceover for Rumble Roses. It sounds absolutely terrible. There's no acting in there whatsoever. Another one, which... I think this one is down to bad localization, so you'll see if you can hear what the comment is.
Cowgirl has teeth more magnificent than my sheep.
So cowgirl has teats more magnificent than my sheep. Now I think why we don't have women in the game industry is because we need to tell them that their teats are more magnificent than sheep. I think that would, that would set the whole dating problem, right? So, sticking with localization, this is from House of the Dead 2, and the line is when a character is telling something to stay away, to go away. Right?
Don't come! Don't come! Don't come! Don't come!
Now, there's two things wrong with that, obviously. The first is localization issue. Can anybody spot the second problem there? Any audio people, any hands raising? Yeah.
Just play the same sample in different speeds.
Exactly. Let me play it again. It's the exact same line, but they've slowed it down slightly to make it sound like a different person.
Don't come! Don't
That's
come!
the first one. The second one?
Don't come! Don't come!
It's the exact same person. They've just pitch shifted. Crazy. Mega Man 8. Again, hiring professional talent and professional studios would avoid this kind of thing getting in the game.
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meter, we'll find Dr. Wily.
That guy sounds like he was out partying with us last night, came back to the studio, and then started recording these lines. I mean, how do mistakes like that get into these games? It's absolutely ridiculous. But Mega Man 8's a top title, man. It's absolutely terrible. There's another one.
Yo, that thing. It's just like the one I gave to Dr. Light.
Yes, this is what you people call evil energy. Based on my studies so far, the one who obtained the original energy must be a being of complete evil.
So, crazy. I mean, who wrote that? Come on. So, I mean, you're going to see, like, a kind of a trend seeing here with people with bad acting skills, like not proper actors, bad production to record it really, really badly, bad writing, like lines like that, and then bad localization. And some of these are bad all four. Which anyway, we're getting more. Resident Evil. Again, these are quite well-known titles. They're not kind of little cheap, dodgy backyard jobs, So,
there must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
we're trapped in a mansion with zombies, but yeah. Again, it's funny, this is another one. This is like terrible sexual innuendo that makes its way into video games. I think it's terrible. It's so tacky.
That was too close. You were almost a jibble sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
God, who writes this stuff, man? Come on. This is brilliant. I love this one.
There's a page missing.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Perhaps that was the most important part.
That one was good. This one's better.
We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Master of unlocking. Jeez, man, come on. Now, can you imagine like a game like BioShock, for example?